Yeboah. Oh, Pele's found half a yard here. Now, can he take on the entire Congo defence? He can. Oh, what a pretty goal by Pele! The goal of the tournament! And it might be good enough to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the African Nations Cup.
Every great football nation has a legend, a name that echoes through generations, not just for trophies, but for the fire, the flair, and the fight.
Let's narrow it down to Ghana. Favorite Ghanaian player of all time?
Oh, the one and only Abedi Pele.
Abedi Pele.
He is for all Africa, one of the best players ever in the world. Ever.
One of the best players ever in the world.
Ever.
For Ghana, that name is Abedi Pele, and this is his international journey. The rise, the fall, and the legacy that still burns bright in black, yellow, and red. Abedi Ayew's club career lit up Europe, but it was in the colours of Ghana that he became a symbol of hope and heartbreak. From the moment he broke into the Black Star squad in the early 1980s, Abedi was something different. At just 17, he made his international debut, and by the time Ghana hosted the African Cup of Nations in 1988, Abedi wasn't just playing, he was leading. He was a fixture in the African Championship in the 1980s and 90s, and a member of Ghana's victorious team in the 1982 African Cup of Nations, but he never had an opportunity to play at the World Cup, as the Black Stars failed to qualify for the competition during his career. However, he was arguably the most dominant figure on the African football scene for nearly a decade, and the biggest chapter of his international story came in 1992. His performance in that edition of the African Cup of Nations is often cited as one of the most outstanding football displays by any player in a single tournament. Ghana reached the finals of the Cup that year, only to lose on penalties in the final to Côte d'Ivoire after Abedi was suspended because of a yellow card he had received in the semi-final match against Nigeria. Watching from the stands was one of the most painful moments of my life. I felt helpless, Abedi later admitted. And prior to that, his 3 spectacular goals against Zambia, Congo, and Nigeria proved crucial in putting Ghana through on their 7th appearance in a CAN final and their final in 10 years. The performance earned him the added nickname, the African Maradona. Abedi was in a league of his own that tournament. We couldn't stop him. He was everywhere, said former Nigerian midfielder Sunday Olise. After that tournament, a rift began to grow. On one side was Abedi, the captain and the talisman. On the other hand, Anthony Yeboah, Ghana's prolific striker, and the man many believe should have won the armband. What started as a quiet power struggle turned into a very public fallout. There were disagreements over tactics, over team leadership, even over hotel room allocations. Petty things, but symbolic of deeper issues. In 1994, the cracks split open. This feud had worsened to the extent that both Abedi and Yeboah were dropped from the national team during the World Cup qualifiers, and as a result, Ghana missed out on USA 94, just when African football was rising. Abedi returned briefly in 1996, playing his final AFCON that year. He was older, calmer, still brilliant, but the fire had dimmed. Ghana was eliminated in the semis by South Africa and lost the 3rd place match to Zambia. He retired soon after, again never having to play in a World Cup. Regardless, his impact can't be measured by medals. Abedi Pele carried Ghanaian football through a dark transitional decade. He inspired a generation, not just by how he won, but by how he played. At the end of his international career, he has scored 33 goals for Ghana, which was the 3rd highest goal tally even till today. Abedi Pele was one of the first African footballers to earn a top placing in FIFA World Player of the Year voting, doing so in 91 and 92. He is arguably Africa's most decorated and honored football player ever, winning the France Football's Magazine African Player of the Year award 3 consecutive years. He was the inaugural winner of the BBC African Sports Star of the Year in 1992, the corresponding Confederation of African Football Award twice, and was also awarded the Golden Ball for being the best player at the 1992 African Cup of Nations, and holds the record for the most appearances at the African Cup of Nations. To crown it all, in 1998, the government of Ghana bestowed upon him its highest honor to civilians, which is the Order of the Volta Star. And there you have it, guys, the eventful international career of Abedi Pele, the maestro, the man who gave everything, sometimes too much, for the Black Stars. This video continues the story from his club career. If you haven't seen that yet, click here to watch it, or dive right into this one. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.